Thanks for tuning in to another episode of I Am My Sister's Keeper, the show that promotes the stronger sisterhood, and we talk about the social ills that prevent a stronger sisterhood.
And as Liberian women, I am very proud of you guys. May whatever you guys starting touch a lot of life and make an impact, because we all know where our country came from. Thank you for being here.
We do all this. We do all this because we are our sister's keeper.
She is my sister from another life. We played and talked on the phone for days. That's if heaven has her phone. But then I realized heaven has no doors, windows, or living room. And so we sat on the country cloth of our soul, taking instructions from our Creator. And He said, your hands are made long and strong to extend it when your sister needs you. Your lips were separated to speak live into the hollow of your sister's heart. You were given 2 legs to walk by your sister's side. And when she calls upon thee in times of need, don't watch your sister fall. Encourage her where she wavers. Protect her where she shivers. And so I pledge to enlighten, motivate, support, encourage, protect, empathize, and uplift through a stronger sisterhood. Because I am my sister's keeper.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of I Am My Sister's Keeper, the show that promotes the stronger sisterhood, and we talk about the social ills that prevent a stronger sisterhood. Today I'm here with my sisters as usual. Cruz Cherie, looking all beautiful. My sister, Miss Jessica Ballard. And today I'm so excited about this show. Of course, I'm your girl, Choicey D. Let's talk about today's show.
And excitement is not even a word. I'm happy because the person that's actually coming on the show is not just a very talented person. She actually designed everything we are wearing. From Choicey to me, Cruz Cherie looking fabulous, to Jessica Ballard looking glamorous. When she comes on the show, you're gonna see.
I mean, her outfit is walked by her dressing room earlier today. I didn't even realize that was a dress.
Yes.
Yeah.
Talk about crafty. Talk about how good she is.
It was a work of art that you guys are going to see in just a few moments. This designer she's phenomenal. She has this vision and she just runs with it. Her name is Precious Payne, and she is the creator of Precious Pieces. And I don't want to keep you guys waiting, so I'm going to ask Precious to come on out and join us.
Yes.
Definitely.
Looking up fabulous.
Looking so. Now, don't even sit. I'm sorry. We already talked about your dress.
Yeah, you
I want them to see.
Yes.
You see them right here.
Please. Yeah.
And probably I'm gonna let Jessica did a good description of this dress. Tell us about this dress, Jessica.
Okay.
In your words.
Precious, I'm going to describe your dress, and then you're going to tell me what you're giving us, okay? I'm feeling a little, 1800 house slave type, high madam type, Afro chic type.
But so glamorously done that you don't even see that.
Yes.
It's just absolutely.
I'm getting everything from this.
You know what I'm really getting out of her dress? It reminds me of what our mother would have worn back in the days.
Yes.
A very edginess to it, very gothic, but very.
She's blushing. She's like, you guys are keeping. Thank you so much for being the show, Precious.
You guys are doing an amazing job. I'm so proud of you guys.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Before we get into what our topic actually is for today regarding why you're here, I want you to take the time to just tell our viewers what concept you had in mind. Because you didn't even know what we were doing. You just decided you were going to make our dresses. What inspired our look?
Well, I, Precious,
Precious Pieces, and I strongly, strongly, strongly believe in our fashion from where we came from, our heritage should never be lost. But at the same time, we have to stay present with current fashion. So we never let go of what our mothers wore, but we still make it current because the world have to know my African is fabulous, chic, and everything else.
Good. And you know, we would get up for you to see our outfit, but we'll keep that for the last part of the show. In our credits, you'll see our absolutely beautiful gowns. But let's talk about Precious. Precious, let's talk about your work. Tell us what started this. How did you know you were a designer? Did you have it in you?
First of all, I'm autistic. Like from a very, very, very young time in my life, like if I can remember, like 5 years old, I knew I was going to be a creative person because it's like I can just look at any woman and just say like, oh my God, I can't wait to do this to her. Like how I look at this beautiful goddess here, I'm like, oh my God, her height is so amazing. And why don't show what we have? Because I believe my African come in different shape and sizes. So each and every one of us can rock whatever, but you have to know your proportion. Look at Choicey. She's very, very voluptuous. You know, we all love that. But should we take away from that? No. She have to embrace what she have. And that's exactly what I'm showing. And then my sister here, she's very earthy, very motherly, but at the same time still stay very but
oh my goodness, I've been looking for a word to describe my sister. Very earthy. So before, I know it's all fashion right now, but this show, what we want to talk about is to talk about your life. It's people may look at you and think it was all glamorous.
Success overnight.
Right. Tell us, because Precious, you just said you had this feeling from childhood.
Yes.
But you didn't do it right away.
No, I didn't.
There are areas in your life that things happened, you got married, and all that. Tell us a little bit about your life before Precious Pieces.
Right. So I was born and raised in Monrovia, Liberia. I came to the United States in 1990. I live in New York. Graduated high school, college, and then I met a guy and we moved to Minnesota, and I had a daughter while I was out there. But to be honest, before we got to Precious Pieces, I went through some tough times. That's why I basically say Precious Pieces helped me liberate myself. Yes, because when I felt like I lost all hope, and I went to that deep place, my creativeness that lives within me, like brought me back to life. And that's Precious Pieces in one nutshell.
Very beautiful.
So I can see as you're talking, you're vibrantly speaking, and then your eyes is watering, and it's almost like you feel a soul within that, okay, Precious Pieces is not just being glamorous, but it's a way of freeing my spirit. Freeing every hurt, every pain, every sorrow, it comes through my art that I do. So with everything that's happening on to this point, you talk about your husband. Are you currently still married to your husband?
No, we've been divorced for a while, but I have built a strong relationship. Although we wasn't good as husband and wife, but we are amazing parents. Like we co-parent. I would give the world for him to succeed in life and vice versa for me, because I believe in building our kids. It starts from us. And if we self-destruct each other or back talk or put him down, he put me down, I would never be here, because I would already put him down. If I feel like once I put somebody down, I put myself down, because it starts with me. So right now, we at an awesome place, and I'm not just doing it for me, I'm setting an example for my daughters, because I believe my little sisters are also looking at me, because I am
you're older sister. How many siblings? 11 girls.
Yes.
And that's not an easy thing. So when you were about to, let's go back to when the whole divorce, right? When it came about that you were going to do this, knowing that all your siblings look up to you.
Right.
Because I know this is a shame within our community.
Yeah.
A lot of women stay because they want to, and I'm not getting to your marriage, but I'm just saying a lot of people stay because they're role models for their siblings.
Right.
They want to set that example that I'm married, this is how it should be. So how did you break the news to them that you were about to them and your daughter, that this was going to happen?
Well, I had to take myself to a place, because you cannot just throw anything on anybody and then not ready to digest it, because I wanted to be sure myself that when I let that out into the universe and express this to anybody else, nobody can take me away from that. I wanted to be able to say, like Choicey, I'm gonna walk away from my marriage, but just respect me and pray for me. Do I want her input? Yes, it was very important, but I know who I am. Like Choicey said, we as African women, it's a stigma. We have to hold our marriage together, and if you don't, it's all the woman fault. But then it brings us back. We are in the modern world, and then we watch a lot of our mothers go through stuff, and then I watch my friends, that generation, like they keep repeating. And when I had my daughter, I said every curse. I'm not saying what the old people did, because that made them stronger. But my strength, if it took me walking away, I chose that. I chose that.
So that brings me to a very important question that relates to why we formed this movement, the sister movement.
Right.
With your marriage and you walking out, and with the friends you had around you, who, when we say my sister's keeper, people automatically think is your biological sister, but sisterhood is friendship. Sisterhood is your sisters as well. And women in general, we are all sisters, we should stay together. So do you feel like the women in your life at the time, were they, like, did you lose friendship? Were they supportive? Did they blame you?
Are they still with you now?
Exactly.
And there's so many questions I want.
Yes, no, that's fine. I can totally answer that. Because, yes, we all know they're all gossip. But before it hit the world, I took my problems to God. So mentally, I was prepared. Did I lose some of them? Yes. Did people have opinion? Yes. Did I withdraw? Yes, because I didn't want my thoughts to get tinted. And did it lose me? No, I lost them. Because I felt like, if you are my sister keeper, like what we are, that's why I applaud you guys for what you're doing. No matter what, we're going to still go to the gutter. But at the end of the day, when your sister has your back, she has your back. But if I feel like I have to keep explaining myself, you gotta go
behind your back. So I want to touch on something that you mentioned earlier when you were talking about you as a designer. You said you feel as though precious pieces is what liberated you. That was your liberation. Let's talk about that a little bit more. While you were married, were you designing at the level that you were designing now? And what, if not, what were you doing?
Before I started designing, I was a hairstylist. Because creativity, I breathe it. It doesn't matter where you put me, I will shine with my creativity. Shine is not like the whole world have to love me, but I will leave a piece of me. Whatever you take me, in some type of art form. And transition from being a hairstylist to a fashion designer is somewhere where I had to take myself and make myself vulnerable. Because our community is very, very judgmental. Once they know you as a hairstylist, you cannot just go from a hairstylist to a designer. Yes, and once you work at 7-Eleven, you can't just go from there and being a doctor. Because they'll be like, and who is that and who is that? But for me, it was me setting an example for people like me. That feel like I have to stop here, because for me it's never stopping here. So like my artisticness, like you say, I was doing hairstyles before I became a fashion designer.
That's great to know, because hairstylist, that is a form of art,
right?
fashion designing is another form of art. And it's almost like you're taking all the artisticness that you have inside of you and just taking it to different places. And I'm glad you're talking about not limiting yourself, because I think, like you said, that is something a lot of people do.
Right.
So you talked about, being a hairstylist and then transitioning to a fashion designer. And I wanted to point out that, all of that is art. It's different forms of art, essentially, being expressed, in different ways. And the comment that you mentioned about, someone working in 7-Eleven and then becoming a medical doctor, I thought that was an amazing point to make, because, there are a lot of women out there who probably feel like I'm stuck, like you said, in a particular field, and how can I transition into something else, when people already know me as this. And so I think that what you said was really, really powerful, Precious, and I think this is going to be like a great platform for women to hear and know that sky's the limit.
True. So I want to take you back to this place. I don't want to do it, but I know there are a lot of research that has it as if a girl, because girls are usually close to their fathers, whereas boys are usually close to their mothers. Usually, we know in situations when there's divorce, the child tends to blame the mother.
Especially if it's a girl.
Especially if it's a girl. She's angry, dad had to leave, you made dad leave. But then there's another part of the story that says that if that child is also close with the mother, if the mother has communication with that child, and that child does not feel distant, that child is able to express their anger more. So did your daughter express any anger? Was she upset? Or was it more easier because you already had that relationship with her and because you and her dad remained civil?
Really, my daughter, she never got to that place to even miss her mom and her dad, because we built a system. We gradually work him out the house. He was never just removed out the house. So he went from probably spending a whole day when she go to sleep, then he leaves. And then little by little we went from there. When he moved out, he had her every weekend, but he took her to school every morning.
So I guess
and then I picked her up every night.
That relationship really helped in the divorce. Okay, so enough of all the sad part, enough of all,
it was a great part.
Enough of all that. I want to celebrate you. So you went through a divorce. Well, let's start from New York. You got in New York, went to school.
Not just any school.
Not just any school. NYU. Did graffitis on walls, right? Then you fell in love. And then you played a wife. And then you were a mother. You put the precious pieces to rest. Not totally, but like Jessica said, you did clothing. You did the hair thing, right? You were a hairstylist. Then you came back to it, right? You know how many people after a divorce, because women usually define themselves by their husbands, usually fall flat on their faces? Honey, you should celebrate.
Yes, you should.
Yes.
And I follow you on Facebook all this time, and I never knew that about you. Because you never wore it on your face. And that's a testimony of your faith, like you said. You went to a place, you took it to God in prayer, and look at you now. Look at you now. I applaud you.
Thank you.
With that, sometimes we have all of this going on in our lives, but there are things that keep us whole, strong, and give us reason to want to move forward. So when you went through that period of your life, and you did mention something about your art, you expressing yourself through your art. But what brought you back to say, you know what, regardless of everything that's happened, I will leave everything here, but I will move from here to there, and now you are here. And just creating, just being precious, in the world, precious, and creating these beautiful, vibrant pieces.
That are not even sad. They're all happy pieces. For somebody that went through all that, and I don't see any, I expected to see the widowed, your dressed, and, you know what I mean? The dead, but you were so vibrant. Even with something this dark, right? But there's that blue pattern. now my art teacher would love that I could pick this up.
Right.
But I mean, this like you don't get it.
Yeah.
So what held you
Yeah,
up?
like before, like I said, it was there. It was always there. Because once you're born with something, it's always there. You have to nourish it for it to be birthed. But during my divorce, like I'm gonna put that to rest.
Right.
But during my tough time in life, because my divorce do not define who I am, because it made me stronger. But during that time when I went to God, as I read the Bible over and over and over and over, and I go to church wherever the pastors say, I hear it, but do I receive it? When I came home, it meant nothing after I left the door.
Okay.
But I was like, you know what? Something have to speak to me. So one day I was just sitting there and this new book came out, The Purpose Driven Life.
Oh, love him. I forgot it. Love him. He is that's a very good book.
The Purpose
A
Driven
must
Life.
read.
Okay.
Purpose
I
Driven
don't
Life.
remember because it's been like 8 years ago. Yeah, it's been a while, but everybody knows that book.
Sounds
Yes. So I'm reading the book. It basically giving you guideline, but encouraging you. We all are here for a purpose.
Okay.
And then I'm like, okay, if there's a God-given purpose, why am I here?
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, it's not to go to school because everybody go to school because that's the stigma. We have to have some form of education.
African parents.
Because that gives you some level, a form of level in life, a
Yeah.
caliber that you live up to. And then I'm like, oh, then he broke me back down. That's when I realized I'm not afraid to sit on the ground because I didn't start from the cutting board. Sit on the ground and cut my fabric.
I'm sorry. His name is Rick Warren.
Here you go.
Thank
Rick
you.
Warren. Yes, girl.
Dr.
Yes,
Rick Warren.
Dr. Rick Warren.
Dr. Rick Warren.
Here you go. Yeah. So I started like cutting on the floor, and I was going to a wedding. I'm like everywhere, and girls, you know, when we go shopping, there's nothing. Like sometimes you be like go to 10 different stores, okay?
Yeah.
And you like, I don't like nothing.
If only I could find that one piece,
One
that
piece.
has every little thing on
And
it,
fits
right?
me
It fits me perfect, right? Right.
Yes, it have to fit you. Like for me, when I wear my clothes, it have to speak.
Right.
Like I'm wearing this garment I'm wearing today is actually from like old 18, what year? The year the Liberian people made the ladies that made the Liberian flags.
Okay.
Yeah. So
1800s.
1800. 1847 is that
When we
when?
had our independence.
Is that
That's when
1847?
Susanna and Louise and all the people came up with the flag. Yeah.
And if you actually Google that flag, the dress I'm wearing is on that flag.
Oh, okay.
Those
So it's
ladies
taken
was
from
wearing.
You know what?
Yeah.
Now that makes sense. And they even had the head tie.
Yes.
Theirs was white.
Yeah.
They had the white, and I think it's not head tie. I think it was a pillowcase.
Yes.
The story goes that
Yeah.
it was a pillowcase that they
Yeah.
had. Oh wow.
So with that, I was infatuated.
Right.
So I'm saying to myself, that's hot. But that was their days.
Yeah.
So now I'm here.
Yes.
So
Step it up.
this is me.
Bringing it back.
But I say all of that to say that when Precious Pieces went from that floor and that spoke to her, and I'm like, wow, that is my purpose. So when I first put my first outfit on Facebook, it wasn't Precious Pieces at the time. I'm like, oh, you know, you get excited.
Right.
I'm like, oh, I made this. I hope you like it. I had some people like, who made that for you, girl?
Oh, okay.
And I'm looking like, really? You know, like how like somebody just shot you after you just super excited.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, there we go. But you know, I could have turned back and said, okay, forget it.
Right.
They gonna do that. But when I read that book, it strengthened me.
Purpose
I'm
driven
like,
life.
okay, now I have something to prove to you.
Right.
That
Speaking about purpose driven, there's something that Dr. Rick Warren said in one of his interviews, one of his many interviews. He said God takes you to a place where when you think you're there, like he has blessed you. but you just think you fulfilled it all.
Right.
Then he takes it all away from you.
Yes.
Because you got complacent in that position.
Yes.
And he's like, this is not why I got you here.
Exactly.
I'm not here to preach, people. We're not preaching. But, you know, she brought up purpose-driven life. I advise that everybody reads. Doesn't have to be her situation,
No.
but there is something there for everybody.
Yes.
I usually read his book anytime I'm doing my 40 days fast. It's very good. But with that being said, you mentioned your first, what is it called, outfit that you put up there.
Right.
How was it on your first show, your first display of the first Precious Pieces line?
Oh,
How did
God.
people receive it? I know it was in Minnesota.
Yes, it was.
How did people
The
receive
turn
it?
up, like, the show should have started, whatever, 9 o'clock.
Right.
We ran
We're
late.
in African time.
Yeah, 10 o'clock, you know how African time.
African Liberian time because that's extra.
Right, extra. So during the time, like when the show was going on, everybody out there, till they call my name, I still have more outfit in the machine, just running. Cause I feel like I just want to show the world everything. And knowing that when time against you, you cannot just show everything.
Yeah.
But when I walk on stage, and
I feel it.
I seen the people that told me I couldn't.
But you can do it.
They was there. And when my clothing line and I walk and it stood up and clapped, it wasn't like in your face. It was like, Lord, I thank you. So imagine if I can do this, what else can you take me to?
Amen,
You know?
Well,
So I'm good with that.
Before we take our break, I want everybody to know this is not the end of Precious Pieces. This is just the beginning of Precious Pieces. When we come back, we'll find out where does Precious Pieces go from here.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
All right, welcome back, everybody. So before we left, we wanted to find out, where does Precious Pieces go from here?
From here is the blessing of God going to be on my work. He has my final destination. But look forward to 2016. I will have my online store, ready to wear pieces and custom made. So by that time, hopefully I'll be in my second year of college that I'm doing fashion design.
Great.
Because I just don't want to just be a designer.
Right.
I am a businesswoman as well.
Can I just get a high five, girl?
High five.
Yes, girl.
She's one bad. She's one bad sister. She's one bad sister.
She's a sister.
Yes,
She's
yes.
a sister because when we thought about this show, being that we are new and the money was a major problem, a major concern, but when I called Precious up, she was like, anything I can do to help this set, I'll make it happen.
Thank you.
I will do the dresses. It will be my help right there. So you just know that she's sponsoring this as well.
Yes.
And I didn't call her for sponsorship. I called her for interview and all of that, but she said, no, I'm not going to stop there. What else can I do? So you're definitely your sister's keeper. And
yes.
because we want everybody that comes on our show to say a pledge, as a sister, we would like you to say the pledge. You'll get the full pledge on the site, but she's going to give a little prelude to the pledge she's going to do for us. So.
Oh, here we go. Put my right hand up. Just like Choicey did. Just like Choicey did. And I hope I do her well. Okay, from Liberian to serious.
Yeah.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
I am Precious Payne. I am my sister keeper. I would encourage, love, support, and
Go ahead, you're doing well.
I am my sister keeper. But you can catch the next.
The full pledge
There you go.
will be on the website. I want to say thank you so much to our guests.
Yes,
Precious
thank you, guys.
Pieces.
Yeah.
Thank you for our beautiful outfits.
You're welcome.
You all will see that
Yeah.
clips of it throughout the credits. Also, it's on our website, on our Facebook page. Go and like the page. It's called I Am My Sister's Keeper. We're so grateful. Thank you so much for
And before
tuning
you
in.
cut it, can I just say something? I know it's in the midst of this.
Yeah.
And as Liberian women, I am very proud of you guys. May whatever you guys started touch a lot of life and make an impact, because we all know where our country came from. Thank you for being here.
We do all
Yes.
this. We
Yes.
do all this
Yes,
because
yes,
we
yes.
are our
Our
sisters.
sisters keepers.
I'm cut from the finest piece of humanity. Half of me is you. I am because we are. My hands were made long enough to stretch forth, to empathize, encourage, protect, motivate, enlighten, and support. Because I am your sister.